Good morning to one and all. My name is Shifa Ayaz, and today I'm going to teach you my very first DLIC experiment, that is the design of inverting and non-inverting amplifier. Before I begin with the actual practical, I would first like you all to get familiarized with this particular software that is known as LT Spice. So let's get started. So as you launch your LT Spice, since I've already opened these tabs, so first click on File, select the option of New Schematic. An empty draft will be loaded. Now since I have not saved this draft, so it is untitled. Once I save it, it will be easy for me to identify the file. So this workspace has these many tools available. Okay, so as I hover my mouse over these symbols, I would read a label. For example, if I hover my mouse over this particular thing that reads component, so once I click on component, I get a pop-up window and a search box where I can type, for example, if I want a voltage source, so I'll type voltage and I'll click OK. So either I will press an enter or I'll just tap it once. That particular component gets placed on the draft. If I don't want this extra voltage, so I can press escape or right click. Similarly, I have here another symbol that reads diode, so I can place a diode, an inductor, capacitor, resistor. For example, if I want to place a resistor, I'll click on the resistor. Then if I want to rotate this particular resistor and place it in a different manner, I can do this with the help of this shortcut, that is Ctrl R, and the resistor is rotated. So this is how you can place it. Now the one of the features, the problem is that once you place a particular component, an extra component also gets added. So since you don't want that particular component, either you right click or you press escape. So that's how you do it. Similarly, you can add all the other components. Then one of the most again interesting symbol, which is the label net. For example, if I want to print my output waveforms at the console, so I require V in and V out. So this label net is very helpful while marking my or placing my probes on the circuit. So that's all about the label net. Then this is the ground symbol. Then this pencil like symbol depicts wire actually. So for example, if I want to connect two ends of my component, the two nodes of my component, for example, if I want to connect this node to the node of my resistor, I'll right click and I'll place. So once the particular node gets attached, so that symbol gets disappeared. So this is how you attach a wire. Again, I don't want the wire, I either click on escape or right click it, so the wire disappears. Another thing which is this cut symbol. This is a sort of a symbol which you see is actually a cut symbol. For example, if I want to remove a particular element or a component from my circuit or detach a particular circuitry from the existing one, I can use this cut scissor to detach it or completely eliminate that component from my circuit. So that's how I do. Another feature I have is, for example, if I have an existing circuit already present which I have made and I want to use that same circuit to build another circuit, so I have another feature, that is copy. I'll just copy this particular element. You just select copy and drag, just like how you take your snapshots, in that same manner just you enlarge it and take it, and this is how you get another voltage source. So that's how you can copy n number of circuits with this help of this feature copy. So it's one of the most important feature of the LTSpice. Then you have another option of saving your file from here, or either from clicking on file to save it, or save as with a particular name. So these are the options available. Then you have the option to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, zoom to the full extent. All of these are options are available. Then we have another option that is for simulation. So this is the symbol for simulation, or else if you don't want to simulate from here, then you have another option of simulate, edit simulation command. This is also one of the important criteria while you are running a circuit. So once I actually explain you the actual circuit, I would be explaining about this edit simulation command. Then how do you provide a stop time, so how many cycles do you want for the waveform, this is determined by this stop time. So this is about the runtime. Then as you keep on exploring new things in LTSpice, so you'll get more, you'll get to know more about these features. So this is about the basic introduction about this workspace. So now I'll close this circuit, this which I don't want. So I would say I don't want these changes to be saved, so I'll no. So it's gone. So let's begin with the very first experiment. So before I actually show you the circuit, I first want you to see the formula. This is something very important before I actually show you the simulation of the circuit. So the inverting amplifier formula, this is very important formula. The Vout is minus Rf by R1. So with the help of this formula, I'm going to design my circuit. So just keep in mind these two formulas, that Vo is equal to minus Rf by R1 for an inverting amplifier, and for a non-inverting amplifier, Vo is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1. Okay, so please keep just keep this particular formula in your mind. Okay, now let's begin with the inverting amplifier. So this is the inverting amplifier. What is actually an inverting amplifier? This is my TL084. You can either use a different op-amp, but the default op-amp available with LTSpice is your OP07. This is another PSpice model which I have actually imported into my practicals. So I'll be showing you. It's okay even if you do your practical with TL084, it doesn't create sense. Okay, so what do you actually mean by the inverting amplifier is that you are applying your input voltage at the negative terminal of the op-amp. Okay, so this is what your inverting amplifier meaning, that is you are applying your input voltage at the negative terminal, and the positive terminal, that is the non-inverting terminal, is grounded. Okay, so this is the configuration. This R2 is nothing but your RF resistor, that is your feedback resistor, and this is your R1 which is at your input, and this is your VCC and VEE. The supply voltage is plus 15 and minus 15 volt. As I shown you before that these are my two net labels, V in and V out. So when I place my probes while simulating it, so I'll get a waveform of my input waveform and my output waveform. Okay, so this particular thing which I have taken, actually I forgot to explain you before. When you click on this particular I'll show you actually over here. Spice directive. Either you will have two options, to comment or a spice directive. Spice directive is again something like a header file being included or some pSpice model being included. So I'll click on spice directive. Now since this is not a spice directive, it's a comment. So with this help I'll be able to explain someone my formula, or write your SAP ID and name, so it becomes better for the identification purpose. So this comment is this blue color thing which I've written over here. So I can even write that formula, that is VO is equal to minus RF by R1. Okay, and you can place it. Again you have another option of this drag and move it. So either if I want to click on this and drag this particular thing to some other location, I can. So this is how your LT Spice is actually. So I have taken a voltage source over here and I'll be right clicking on that. Okay, so you get this particular pop-up window which have these many functions. So I have taken a sine function where my DC offset is 0, amplitude is 0.5 and frequency is of 1 kilohertz. Now since I want 1 volt peak to peak be in, so I have taken 0.5 as my amplitude and this is 1 kilohertz. Okay, so according to it I have taken my the stop time as 1 millisecond. You can increase it also to get more number of cycles. So now I have designed this particular configuration for a gain of 4.8k. I have taken this 4.8k as a non-standard value. You can pick up standard values for your resistor. So by varying this RF and R1 values, I can vary my gain of this amplifier. So the designer has full control over this op amp. So if the designer wants a gain of 5, so I can choose my RF and R1 values according to that. So for in my case I have taken it as 4.8. so I will show you my simulation. So this is my circuit, all of this is done, so I'll just simulate it. I have already saved, so once again I'll save my configuration, click on run. Since these are my extra circuits, so I'll just minimize them. Not required. Okay, so this is my plot plane. Now since I want my plot to look more neat, I won't plot the two waveforms both in one particular pane actually. So I'll right click and I have an option of add a plot pane, so I'll just click on that. So once you select any particular plot pane, it gets in green color. For example, if I want to plot my V in over here, so I'll place this probe. This pencil like thing is your probe actually. So I plotted my V in. I'll select my V out over here now. So that's how the inverted V out looks. Now since I've taken a very small the stop time, so I'll increase it. That's why the waveform looks too big. So let me take it some 3 milliseconds. Okay, so I have clicked on OK. I have changed it. I will save this again and again run it. See, you can see now 3 cycles. Okay, so you can see the inverted output of this particular waveform. My input was sine wave and I've got cosine wave at my output, and it reads about, if I want to check the peak voltage over here, I click on my V out, I get this cursor, I'll place this cursor on my peak value. See, I get this pop-up window which reads vertically it is having 2.385 volts. So this is what my V out is. So how much input did I give to this particular configuration is 0.5, and I've got an amplified output of 2.385 volts, which is again an inverted output. So whenever you are designing an inverting amplifier, you will always get an inverted output. That is what the meaning is. So I'll show you the theoretical and practical values which I observed during my practical. So these I have considered OP07 in my practicals, so that is why I have put the OP07 over here. Only the characteristics of your op-amp will change, okay, if you use or if you choose a different op-amp. So this is for 4.8, right? Yeah. So for the inverting case, it was 1 volt peak to peak, so I have considered 0.5. So you will be getting the inverting is minus 4.8. Now since, as I told you, this is a pure value, if I multiply this, my value will change, okay, so you won't get the exact value for it. For example, here it is showing me how much, 4.8, so 2.3 into 2 would be 4.6, okay, and similarly at the output you will observe 4.7 when I actually have observed this 4.6 or 4.7 to it. And when you actually calculate your RF by R1 using this formula, you are getting 4.8, okay. So that's the outcome of this particular amplifier. So this is my inverting amplifier. Now I'll show you the non-inverting amplifier. So this is the so this is my non-inverting amplifier. Now I've chosen a different value for the non-inverting amplifier. So this is for 2.4. This is I've designed for the gain of 2.4. Here I've used an OP07 op-amp, and again the same parameters, just the input I've applied it to the positive terminal and the negative terminal is grounded via this resistor. So since I've shown you the formula for the non-inverting amplifier, that is 1 plus RF by R1. So this is, so as I've shown you this formula, 1 plus RF by R1, right? So this is designed for the gain of 2.4. Again I'll simulate it. Now I'll show you something. Select my amplitude to be of 5, that means it is 10 volt peak to peak. I'll save this and I'll run this. Okay, let me check at what levels I'm getting saturation. Either I'm getting saturation for the gain of 2.4 for a non-inverting or not, because yeah, 4.8 now, 3.8 I have considered one. Yeah, okay, I'll show you for a gain of 4.8 only, as I had shown you previously. So we'll maximize it and change. So for a 4.8 gain I will require resistor of 3.8k. okay, so I'll again save this. My input is 5, okay, simulate. Yes, so this is what you will see at your output waveform. The actual output, now since it's a non-inverting configuration, so you won't get an inverted output. You will get a normal sine wave but an amplified output. But since my op-amp is driven into saturation, I'll see clipping at my output. So when your op amp cannot handle a certain amount of voltage, or when it actually crosses over a particular amount of voltage, so then your op amp is driven into saturation. For example, over here it is mentioned as 13.95 volts. When it crosses that particular voltage, the op amp is driven into saturation and you see clipping at the output waveform. So let's check the voltage. So as you can see, it reads about 13.96. so this is how you will come to know that after this voltage my op amp is driven into saturation. Okay, so if you see, so this is the same configuration, only the non-inverting terminal is fed by this input and you are seeing the output. I have shown you this for TL084 for a inverting configuration. I'll show you this same for the LM741. Okay, the non-inverting. So let's close this circuit now, and here is my LM741. Okay, so this is another op amp. I've designed this for a different gain. Now I want a gain of 3.6, so I'll consider this for 2.6 and okay, so this will be designed for 3.6. This is again a non-inverting configuration. Okay, the same circuit analogy is being followed, only the terminals have been interchanged, whether which sort of a configuration you are using. I have not built again the same circuit. I've used this copy filter to actually copy the whole circuit, and I've just included in my empty drafts, and then I've saved it and then I've simulated it. So I haven't actually keep on adding these components every now and then. I've just copy pasted this same circuit, the existing one, and built a new one. So that's one of the amazing features of LTspice. So again, I'll just show you the simulation of this circuit. I'll save it, I'll run it. Okay, I'll add another plot pane. Done. So I'll plot my V. In this particular symbol is a probe. Okay, and for V out over here, so you can see, so 2.5 means it is designed for a 5 volt peak to peak. Okay, so this is how you will see your output. It's reading as 8.935 volts. Okay, and the output is in phase with your input waveforms. So this is all about my inverting and non-inverting configurations which I've shown here. Now I'm going to show you my file. Okay, so yeah, this is also, yeah, now this, if I just zoom in a bit so that it gives you a clear idea now. Yeah, this is a non-inverting amplifier I've built on using OP07. I've used a feature that is known as parametric sweep in this experiment. So now what I've done is I have kept this R1 as a variable resistor. Okay, this R2, which is your RF, is fixed. So as I told you that depending upon your RF and R1 values, your gain of the amplifier, your op amp will change. So now since this particular R1 is continuously variable, so I've got different gains. Okay, and then at particular point I've even got saturation. So this is the parametric sweep. So what I've done is I've added a PSpice directive. Okay, that is dot step param, where this is your resistor RA, which is starting from 1K to 10K in having the steps of 2k. So it would be like, first it would be 1k, then addition of that would be 2k, 4k, 6k, 8k, and then finally 10k. So in steps of 2 I will be getting different gains. So total I have received 5 waveforms over here, and even I have seen saturation. Okay, so this is one experiment which I have done, then the comparison, and then the basic calculation which I had done. Yeah, one more thing which I had to show you this too actually. Yeah, see, when your op-amp cannot handle too many large frequencies, like if my input frequency is too large, or your op-amp is not capable to handle those frequencies, so I'll get triangular waveforms at my output. So actually I've shown clipping over here, but this particular waveform is not your sine wave, regular sine wave. It's actually sort of a triangular wave. But since I've selected such a gain and this, so my op-amp is driven into saturation, so you will see triangular wave RAM sort of a waveform at your output, where you will understand your op-amp cannot handle that particular frequency. So that's all about my explanation regarding with this experiment. Okay, and I'll be leaving a document in the description box which is about how to install your third-party PSpice model. So how actually I have imported LM74 and TL084 in my experiment. So that I'll be sure that particular PDF I'll be leaving it for you all, so that it becomes easy for you to do. Okay, thank you.